Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the future of Fortnite and more specifically the new season. This was something I slightly touched upon towards the end of my video on why the current season was insanely boring. Definitely check that out after since it kind of sets the tone for this video. Regardless, what I wanted to discuss more of was what changes we might see in Chapter 2, Season 2, as well as why I personally believe it's going to be the best season to date. So with that being said, I want to start off by talking about the big hint Epic dropped in their recent announcement. What I'm talking about is the Fortnite team's news update on the official Chapter 2 Season 2 release date. This is where they first mentioned the Chaos Physics engine I'll talk more about later, and that because of it, the new season will begin on February 20th. The interesting part though is what they said after that. Word for word they wrote, Chapter 2 Season 2 will feature blank with multiple blank. They then continue on by saying they cannot brief us on all of next season's new secrets just yet, which is why all of that stuff has been barred out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw that little excerpt, I didn't really think much of it. People started speculating on Twitter saying Season 2 will feature an FOV slider with multiple different customization options, or that Season 2 will feature more tournaments with multiple LAN events. I even saw a pretty crazy one that said Season 2 will feature a new map with multiple new POIs. Obviously, all of those are complete guesses and none of them are likely to become true. The point I'm trying to make is that nobody really took those hints seriously. We were all way more focused on the Chaos Physics engine instead. That was until a recent tweet I saw from Mark Rain. What he did was he retweeted another person's tweet asking him if Chapter 2 Season 2 was going to be the biggest season in the game's history, and he replied with the cryptic message I just showed. By the way, if you don't know who Mark Rain is, he is the vice president and co-founder of Epic Games. Some of you may remember him as the guy that mocked the community by saying that he liked the plane and deagle meta. I personally like to think of him as Donald Mustard's right-hand man and one of the two guys making a majority of the decisions regarding Fortnite. What all this means is that if Mark Rain is saying the new season's gonna be big, then I can guarantee it's gonna be big. As much as we like to meme on Epic for how incompetent they've been, let's be real for a second. If anyone knows what they're doing, it's Epic Games. No other game has been at the top of Twitch, YouTube, and every other social media for this long. On top of that, nobody else is doing as many cool collaborations and unique events as Fortnite. Sure, you can sit here all day and say the game is dying like the annoying 12-year-old PewDiePie fans in my comment section, when in reality, Fortnite is not even close to being dead. We just went almost 3 months without any major changes or content updates, and tons of people are still playing the game. So just because you find it boring or you don't play it as much does not mean the game is dead. My personal prediction for Season 2 is that the new physics system will play a huge role in it. Just to refresh your mind on what it is, Epic just recently moved Fortnite onto the Unreal Engine Chaos Physics system. This change took place in the most recent patch 11.50, meaning the game is currently running on the new system. As of right now though, nothing has come out of it. I know a ton of people, including myself, thought it would change some stuff because there's a big tournament coming up, and Epic did say they would run the tournament on the previous patch before this one. All that actually happened was everyone's ping and FPS got way worse. Anyways, the key thing here is that because of the new physics system they've already implemented, Epic now has the ability to do a lot more regarding in-game physics. Simply because they haven't done anything with it yet does not mean they won't do it in the new season. And if anything, it's way more likely that they're holding on to all of the insane new changes for Season 2. This clip right here is from a demonstration of the new Chaos Physics system, and as you can see, it is ridiculous. The graphic quality is stunning, the detail within the destruction animations is amazing, and the physics are absurdly realistic. That is something you can't really say about Fortnite, where if you shoot a car or a tree, it only loses HP and looks a little beat up. That's why I believe the new season is gonna have a huge revamp regarding graphics and the way things get destroyed. I don't think the core gameplay is gonna change too much, rather the way things look as you play it will. One example that's stuck in my head would be like if you RPG'd a wood wall. The way it works now is that all the wood pieces kinda get displaced and then fall down and disappear. What I'm thinking Epic might do next season is completely change that breaking animation. That does not mean changing the fact that walls can completely break, which is something I originally speculated in a troll tweet I put out. Instead, they would make the wall break more similarly to how we saw stuff break in the demonstration illustration, or in this concept art from Twitter user EA Skate Concepts. It would be way more detailed and true to life rather than gimmicky and kind of cartoony like Fortnite. Once again though, I truly do not think Epic is going to change box fighting or core game mechanics like editing. I keep seeing comments from you guys that will say something like,
"Why should I learn this technique when I won't even be able to do it in a week?"
You gotta realize, Epic already saw what would happen in that case when they tried to nerf turbo building. Literally so many people hated it that they went and hotfixed the game the next day. So I hope I'm not giving Epic too much credit here, but I truly do believe this season is gonna be huge and revive the game like never before. Moving on, I want to talk about the other possible additions to the game outside of the chaos physics system. Probably the most obvious would be some sort of change to the map. This was Epic's go-to in Chapter 1 with pretty much every new season. They would add either a new biome like the desert one from Season 5 and the snow one from Season 7, or they would completely revamp an existing POI like Tilted. For Chapter 2, I really don't see them treating the map any differently. I expect certain areas on the map to change, alter other ones, and eventually leave us with something much different than the one we have now. What I hope, however, is that they do not go hog wild like they did with the old map. I'm talking about when they added things like the giant volcano, and how in Season X they added back all the old POIs with a stupid gimmicky twist. Please just start small in Chapter 2 and make it flow with the current meta. A pretty cool idea I saw from Twitter was this supposedly leaked map. The only noticeable change is that the stacks at Steamy exploded, leaving a big trail of purple goo everywhere. Take that image with a grain of salt, since it is from 4chan and could easily be fake, but I really would not mind something like that. If we look at the rest of the map, it didn't really change at all, which is good for competitive and casual gameplay. Plus, there's still something new in one of the least landed at POIs. Which brings up my next point, since we're on the topic of overlooked areas on the map. The change I'm hoping most for is additional mobility. It's no secret that there's a lack of mobility in Fortnite at the moment. We have boats, swimming, and technically launch pads, although they were only added in public matches last week. Now, considering how big the map is, that's simply not enough to get around. I'm not advocating for Rift-to-Goes or any of the stupid mobility from Chapter 1, but why not add some unique items that flow with the state of the game? Maybe alongside boats, they add jet skis that 1 or 2 people could ride on, or impulse nades for late game moving zones. The hard part about balancing that stuff is that Epic always does it for both competitive and casual players. This is something they've always believed in and explicitly said regarding their in-game updates. As of lately though, they've actually been doing the right thing by adding new guns and items to only public matches first. That's why I really don't see a problem in adding different mobility and utility to each separate game mode. This will keep the casual players happy, as the game won't be incredibly boring and stale, and it will keep the competitive scene happy since they won't have their entire game ruined by stupid things. So to kind of tie everything I just said together, new map changes are good as long as they're not too giant and too game changing. Additional mobility is good as well, as long as it makes sense in the game, and separating competitive and casual loot pools is also a positive, since one side will not feel like they're being treated unfairly. To wrap up the video, I want to briefly ask you guys what you think of the game and why you still play it right now. I know that may sound like a weird question, but I'm mainly curious about who exactly is watching my videos. For example, are you a competitive player who's trying to earn money in cash cups? Are you more of a casual player just trying to get better? Or do you not even play the game but still watch because you feel bad for me? Seriously, I'm curious to know who's still supporting and watching me even when Fortnite is at its lowest point. The other thing I wanted to know, if you were more interested in this, was asking what you personally think will happen next season. I think it would be awesome to look back at everyone's guesses in a few weeks from now to see who is right or wrong. So I'm sorry if that sounds like a lot to write for one comment. I usually don't ask anything of you guys until the end, but you can think of this as your homework assignment from Papa Jarian. All you gotta do is tell me why you still play or do not play Fortnite, and then what you think will change when Chapter 2 Season 2 drops next week. Overall guys, that's why I think the new season will change Fortnite forever. So if you guys enjoyed the video and are excited for Chapter 2 Season 2, then do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on my post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.